direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
You know, the British really respect the Scots because the Scots gave them such hell getting conquered. I think it was like 600 years or something to finally really get them. It's the same thing with the folks in New Zealand who are more Polynesians than the folks that really got a really bad deal in Australia. But she's going back there. You were talking about your experience in New Zealand, David Knight, and how the Maori fought back, so they got a lot better deal. Again, a nation of sheep will be ruled by wolves. Stop acting like wimps, folks. The globalists will only gang rape you.
That's right. Yeah, everybody, in my experience when we went to New Zealand was everybody loved the Maoris, loved the culture, embraced it, wanted to claim Maoris as ancestors. They gave the British colonists a very hard time. They took over their forts. They learned how to use their weapons against them. And even though they were cannibals, people, you know, still embraced them for that. And they did get a good deal from the relatively, you know, for most indigenous people, certainly compared to the Aborigines. I mean, they really got it bad from the initial colonization there in Australia.
Well, you know, that's the issue, is that the system doesn't want male power. Because in the old days, it was male power and a patriarchal evil system, but this is 1,000 times more evil, this technocrat system that is just anti-human. It's anti-human. We got just not black, white, not male, female. It's all a system. It all goes together.
Oh, yeah.
And it's true classical liberalism. And I think Alice Walker, not to be patronizing, but she's moving towards becoming a real liberal. And we all need to do that.
Yeah.
We need to realize the people that are the Democratic Party couldn't beat real liberalism of Thomas Jefferson and then the true abolitionist and all the rest of it. So they just like the Democrats with the Klan, they couldn't beat it, so they joined it, but to only control it. Kind of like communists infiltrate to take over.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like Fidel Castro put in by the CIA. That's declassified.
And my experience in the South was to see these people go from burning crosses to banning crosses because it was in their interest to control people, to break people into groups. I mean, I've changed a lot in my life from my political positions because I've seen what happens.
So they've gone from burning crosses to banning you having a cross.
That's right.
To banning Christians.
Yeah, yeah. And I've seen, not as somebody who ever wanted to do drugs, but I've seen what the war on drugs did. And it, you know, it's just got me so upset. I mean, 20 years ago, I could see what was happening with this. And I could see that the war on terror was just a doubling down on the same tactics to try to scare people about something. First, they were scaring them about drugs. Now they're scaring them about Muslims. And we're going to...
While funding the radical Muslims.
Exactly. While funding the drugs.
They're funding the dumbing down. War on illiteracy increases it. Exactly. War on drugs increases it. War on Al-Qaeda increases it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they create...
Fund the communists and then fight them.
They create this problem, get people scared, and then move in. We just had an article that we covered on the Nightly News last night about how they're going to churches, and they've got a worship watch now, kind of like Neighborhood Watch.
It's Stasi.
Because they want to scare people about...
No, they want you to know we're in your church.
Yeah.
Your preacher didn't join the clergy response team. We're watching you. Well, good. Get your ass out of here.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and it's also there to breed fear. You know, so much of the stuff that we see on the local news, it's all about crime. And if they don't have enough crime in the local area, they'll pull in crime things from elsewhere. Now,
exactly.
We cover crime that's being committed from a standpoint of the police that are out of control because it is something that's being driven from the top down. It is a national problem. It's something that the federal government is setting up these different rules of engagement between the police and the public. So that's why we're covering it across the mid-spectrum. We're not trying to create fear. We need to get people to understand what really is a problem out there so they can address it. And we see that people are fearlessly standing up like they did in Bunkerville, like they did in Albuquerque, peacefully saying, we want you to stop this terrorizing on the streets.
Very well said. We're out of time. Folks, Lord willing, pray for us. I'll be back this Sunday, 4 to 6 p.m. I want to thank David Knight for co-hosting today. We're going to retransmission now. He did the first 2 hours. I called in on a terrible cell phone talking about the Pope saying redistribute wealth. Oh, boy. So that's all coming up on the audio streams this Sunday, 4 to 6 p.m. Hard to believe it's Friday, David.
Yeah.
And please support us, spread the word. Check out InfoWarsStore.com. So many great items, so many essential items, preparedness items, seeds, you name it, InfoWarsStore.com. Great job to the crew. Nightly News Tonight, 7.
General, what do you think about the FBI saying that there's a terror alert on Monday about a potential Fort Hood